Good morning, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. So grateful to have some time with you today. It is Thursday for anyone who needs to know that. We are very happy to have us together. We're glad you could join us. We have another wonderful conversation today that's connected to our Share the Mic Now campaign. We are so glad to have YWTV. It's a wonderful opportunity to connect us all and inspire, engage us, and educate us. And, today's going to be no different. For those of you that don't know, the Share the Mic Now campaign was launched in June. And the concept behind it is that it allows us to amplify the voices, the stories, and the impact of Black women in our community. And YWCA of Northern New Jersey is so happy to be sharing our mic, our social media accounts, our Instagram account, our Facebook account, and our YWTV social media show to share the mic. And today we are sharing the mic with Tiffany Kerr. And this is the first time I'm actually meeting Tiffany, although I feel like I've known her because we have so many people in common, and I've been following the work that she does, and so excited for all of you to hear about it. She is the creator as well as author of Chic Creations. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tiffany. Chic Creations is an etiquette and lifestyle tips brand and book, and it inspires everyday, effortless ways to enhance the lives of others. In addition to her business, which she's going to tell us all about, she has volunteered her time for over 10 years to Mocha Moms, which is a national nonprofit support group of mothers of color serving in leadership roles. And one of her leadership roles with Mocha Moms is the National Director of Community Service. She's also the New Jersey State Coordinator and she is, let's see, the president of the Bergen County, New Jersey chapter. Was that in the
Pass.
pass? That's what I was going to say. I know Hollis has it right now and is getting ready to pass the torch, but I thought that was the pass. So, and in addition to all of that great work, with Mocha Moms and her Chic Situations business. She's facilitated lots of women's empowerment workshops for high school students and for faculty. And I think one of her greatest joys is being a wife and proud mother of 2 children. So, Tiffany, welcome. So happy to have you with us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Helen. Thank
Good
you,
morning.
YWCA. This is just such an honor and a privilege to be on your TV this morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're grateful. We're grateful. I know we're both we've got we both have our warm beverages. We were clinking, and she's got the fancy one that says Chic Situations on it. That's wonderful. Um, so, Tiffany, we're also going to talk about a lot of things, but let's start by talking about Chic Situations. How did you kind of get the idea, and then how did you evolve it to where it is today?
Oh, thank you so much. So, Chic Situations evolved about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I'm a Los Angeles native, so I'm not originally from New Jersey. And I got married and moved to New Jersey, and everything was just all so sudden. And I had to do a whole relocation. And this involved a whole lifestyle change. Everything changed. You know, when you drop your previous life and then move to a different type of life, you have to adapt. And that was a struggle for me in the very beginning. So it was, I got married in 2006 and moved to New Jersey, and we bought our first home and we had our first child. And with our first home, I found myself, and I was only 26, mind you, I was 26. My husband is about 13 years older than me. So I married a man who was a bit more mature than I was. And I was so grateful. When we moved, it was just us and our daughter, and there was a lot of things that I had to figure out. I left all of my support system, my family, my friends, and I had to figure out this whole thing called motherhood and wife, everything all on my own. So Chic Situations came about with me just struggling to create my own home, make my own name for myself, and after you buy your first house, you start inviting people over, you start having parties and just meeting new people. And I found myself searching, how do I set the table? How do I entertain? How do I present my best self to my friends and my family who visit? I was reading all of these different types of books, but every book that I read was missing something. I found myself going to different types of books, and I said, I need something where I could just pick up one book and read everything in one book. And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to take everything that I learned and put in a book for myself and for the people that I know, that's easy, accessible, relatable, and that we all can understand and take and use in our everyday real life. And so the word chic, came from, it's a French word. It's not American. I'm obviously not French. I'm Black American. But we went to Paris for one of our family vacations. And when you go to Paris, you just fall in love with everything French. And I came back and practiced my French and worked on my French and looked at the women and how they carried themselves in France. And I said, a lot of us look up to different cultures and different countries and how they dress and how they behave and how they live. And it's like, I can live like that too. Why can't I live like that? So the word chic just came from the whole French inspiration, and situations came from our life, because everything we go through, it's our own personal journey and our own situation. And I thought, why don't we start making our own chic situations and start being more aware of how we live to better our lives. So long story, but that's how Chic Situations.
No, it's a great story. It's a great story. So now you're making me curious. What was missing in the books you were reading that you felt like needed to come out in your, and that made your book stand out and different?
Well, relatable situations. Like
That's good.
I have a very good story in the book I write about being on time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one incident where we were going to California for Christmas in the airport, and that was not so chic because we missed our flight
Mm,
because we were not paying attention, and we found ourselves running through the airport like crazy people with a child
yeah,
to make our flight. And
in there.
so I present Chic Situations to people not as this facade, not
Mhm.
as this pretentious way of life, but as relatable situations that pertain to etiquette and lifestyle and just real life. So that's what was missing. All the books
Mhm.
said, okay, this is how you hold your fork. This is how
Right.
you hold your wine glass. And this is how we set a proper dinner table and speak. But a lot of it was missing just relatable information. And I have a really deep passion on not just the outside, but
Mhm.
as women working on our inside, because we can't be chic or we can't be beautiful or confident if we don't have those things instilled in us already or ingrained in us. So,
Mhm.
being chic comes from the inside, and it comes and works its way on the outside. That's the purpose of Chic Situations.
That's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to think about it. And it's so true. I mean, over the years, I have looked at some of these like Miss Manners books, that are out there, and they are very like how you set your table and how you hold your, glass. But you're right. They really don't talk about life situations. So that's wonderful. That's a great distinction. So how did you go from then writing a book to then, getting out there with it? We have so many women entrepreneurs that are connected to the YWCA of Northern New Jersey and have a dream. But you took your dream and made it, into, a business for yourself. You know, and you're kind of taking your philosophy out into the streets and making change around you. So how did you take it from, now you made a book and then you kept going?
Yeah, so it actually worked the opposite. It worked the other way around, because Chic Situations was a thought I always had in my mind. During the process, I was writing, and I always tell people who want to write, I'm a first time writer, first time author, so I'm not an expert. But I do always remind people that writing is a journey, and you have to make time, just like anything else in our lives, for it. So before baby number two, I used to make time every Sunday morning with my coffee when people were sleeping in. And I used to get up early and write for an hour or two. So that became my first steps, is just taking the time to write and edit and rewrite. And with Instagram and social media, I thought about the perfect way to reach my audience is just daily inspiration,
Mm,
daily motivation. So that's why if you visit my Instagram page, Chic Situations, you can see all the different quotes. And those are quotes that come to me that are inspired by others, but I retweak them and work them to say that it's from the book, it's relatable. And then I explain all the information in the comment section to explain that quote. So I feel like with the book, it took a couple years, and
mhm,
I had to step away from it, and I had to give it a break because things happen. Things happen in our life. I got pregnant with baby number
mhm,
two, and that put just a whole pause on everything. And you think about, as women, when will be my time? When will I finish? But these things take time. Everything has its own personal time. I've accepted that. And I used the time after I had my son, while I was home with him on maternity leave, is to write, continue
mhm,
the writing and finish the writing, because we have to finish our goals. And that's one thing where we cut ourselves short as women, especially women of color. We cut ourselves short. We don't give ourselves that permission to be our better selves. And that's one of the things I learned, everything going on right now with the Black Lives Matter and systemic racism. There's so many things that are creating barriers for us, and we're giving ourselves even those barriers. And what I want to help encourage with women with Chic Situations is put the barrier down. Let's open the door, let's open the curtain, let's teach ourselves and educate ourselves everything that we need to know so we can have that seat at the table, like we mentioned before,
mhm.
is give ourselves that opportunity, because who says we can't? And
Yeah.
the book just propelled me to say, this is part of my service. I want to help other people, because I was once at that position where I needed help. And a lot of people taught me, and I taught myself. And this is the product. So I feel like this is baby number three.
Yes. Well, I'm sure it feels that way. And, I'm so grateful that you're sharing your wisdom and your kind of evolution on this topic, because I think so many women that are watching, and, women of color that are watching, need that inspiration and need to see that someone has traveled that path that maybe that they're on. So you're, really providing a lot of hope. And what a tremendous lesson that you've learned, and hopefully the rest of us can embrace about acceptance, because that without having that, it really does create such a barrier in our lives for happiness and for peace, and it's wonderful. So, folks watching too, we're going to make sure that you can find Tiffany and Chic Situations on Instagram. We'll put all the information in the comments here so that you can follow her. We want to make sure that you're following her, supporting her, and learning more about her wonderful business, her journey. Be inspired by her quotes. So you bring up what's happening around us right now, and obviously that's what Share the Mic Now is really all about, amplifying the voices of Black women. And, I'm grateful to have your voice and what you're sharing, because, again, we have so many women that are small business owners that we support and kind of have a dream and want to support their families and want to have a lifestyle that they're able to do that juggling. And it's wonderful to be able to see women that have done it. We also support the Black Business Network in Bergen County, and it's a wonderful, opportunity to be able to hear from a Black woman how she took her dream, took an idea, and brought it to this place. So, let's talk about. We know that systemic racism is obviously something that we are totally overlaid with in our society today, and implicit bias is something that we all, live with to some extent. Can you share a little bit about how your life has been impacted by either or both of these, realities that we are, existing and living with right now?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Helen. like I said, I'm from Los Angeles, and where I'm from it's the Compton and Long Beach area, and
Mm.
it wasn't great back in the 80s and 90s. That people made do with what they had, and but it was us. I feel like my community where I was raised, it was just us. I saw me and other minorities. It wasn't until I moved here to New Jersey that I became fully aware of just small biases. And you don't think much of it until after the fact, and you realize
Mm.
because we all live our lives and try to go through our own journeys. And one example is when my husband and I bought our house. It was our first home, and he took his brother to the house at night. It was at night. His brother was able to come visit, and all of a sudden the police came
Mm.
and asked them what they were doing there because our town is very small, and Black people are the minority. And one of our neighbors called the police on my husband and his brother because they saw two Black men trying to enter a home at night that was vacant at that time, but we had just bought it. So I have those instances with my husband, and with myself. I Before teaching, because I am a high school educator, and that's where another one of my background and my passion for teaching etiquette comes from. I've been teaching since I've moved here.
Mm.
Is Prior to teaching, I worked at a law firm, and I worked for a few partners and shareholders and as a secretary. And my job was very demanding, and I had to put up with a lot of different comments that at first I didn't think about, like maybe I'm not doing my job that well. And I had to question myself and what I was doing until one day my boss gave me a bonus. And in his office, just him and I, he told me as a joke, sometimes we have to crack the whip on you to get you to do your work. And I'm thinking, at first, I always hold a high
Mm.
standard for myself, and I knew I was doing a great job. So for him to make that statement, I felt like it was racist and biased because I was the only Black woman there in the office as his secretary. And it was not just that, and other comments that he would make put me in a position that felt like, am I not equal? Does he feel like that he has to talk to me to get the best work product out of me? So that took a toll on me, and just small little things. I have other examples of going into a store, just as simple as that, and going into a store, especially luxury brand stores, where you walk into the door as a colored woman, and then no one greets you, no one says hello. It doesn't matter how you're dressed or what you look like, and then the next person walks in behind you of a different race, and the staff is like, "Hello, welcome to." How can I help you? And then you're thinking, wait, didn't I just walk in? I'm the same person. I have the same money. So all of these biases have really taken a toll on me, my family, and I'm sure other people have so many more examples and more serious examples. However, that's the backbone of systemic racism that I have been through. And I feel like Chic Situations will allow us to say, you know what, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. I'm going to work on myself, not for them, not for people, but for me, so that I can feel confident and know that if I'm asking to be treated equal, that I'm presenting my best self in whichever way, form, or fashion, that there is no other excuse for you to treat me differently because I'm here. I feel like I'm dressed. I feel like I'm educated. I feel like I have my wine glass. I'm holding it properly. I have my coffee cup and my tea cup. So etiquette is universal. And this is my goal, is to hopefully share etiquette in a way that we all, especially not just women of color, that once we learn etiquette and practice the basic principles of human civility, social behaviors, that's an equal level playing field. Because how can we ask for a seat at the table with racism if literally if we don't know how to be at the table? And that's just my personal experience. And I'm not saying disqualify who you are and where you're from, but there's always room for improvement. And that's our own stereotype that we put on ourselves, is as Black women and as people of color is, some people are not that into etiquette, and that's okay. But that's where I want to change the stigma. I want to change the stereotype that this is just basic human civility, manners, etiquette, consideration for others, me caring about myself, that I am able to watch how I take care of myself and my behavior so that I can better treat you the proper way, because etiquette is all about you. Etiquette is all about people and how we treat others. So,
Well, I love that and appreciate that. And at the YWCA, as I know we're working to make sure that whatever you as a Black woman are putting out into the world, that everyone is embracing it equally with that same civility and that same warm welcome in return. And that's really what the work that we have to do about eliminating racism, because we know that it isn't always received that way by all. And we're trying to work to create a society around us where it is, and there is that equal playing field. Um, so, what are some of your thoughts? I mean, obviously, a lot of it is for you rooted in, etiquette and in presenting your best self. Are there any other thoughts you have about the YWCA's mission of eliminating racism and how we can do that?
yes, just we should just keep encouraging each other. That's all. Keep encouraging each other. This platform, Share the Mic Now, is awesome. This is really just an honor to be here and know that you have opened the door for us, and not just for me, for all women of color. We are becoming allies. We are becoming friends. We are talking. We are having these hard conversations. And that's what the YWCA can continue to do, is just keep having the conversation and open the door. There's so many different resources and platforms that we can share. And that was missing before. And I feel like now you've created an opportunity for us to share our knowledge and educate each other and support one another as women, all women.
Right. Well, we're hoping to break down stereotypes and to, the implicit bias that, obviously we all live with some implicit bias, but for many white people, our implicit bias, hopefully, meeting and so many, wonderful women, and hopefully creating that bridge of understanding and connection, will help us learn to eliminate racism and move us forward. But I am curious, we started before we went live, the two of us were chatting about motherhood a little bit and, some of the challenges, especially having a few moments alone right now to be able to do this broadcast, right? That's always one of the challenges, to
Yes.
find some alone time as a mom. And I know that we hosted a conversation, recently about Black mothers and mothering their children, and, that experience. What do you tell your children as a mom? How do you prepare them? How do you support them through the society and some of the experiences that you and your husband, have had to live through that you shared with us?
Wow, Helen.
I know it's a tough one.
We are still figuring that out. I mean,
Yeah.
we weren't, I wasn't born with the information to know
Mm,
what to teach my children. We all weren't. This is the exact example that we want to continue to share, that
right.
life is a journey. Every day we are trying to cultivate our best selves, however that may be. With my children, we just have an open dialogue. My daughter's 13. She did walk with me this past year in one of the Black Lives Matter movement, one of the protests near our town. She said she knew what was going on. We tried to have a conversation. She said she already knew. A lot of teenagers, they get their information before we even give it to them.
Yeah. True.
But we just keep that open dialogue. My son is still a toddler, and it really hurt my heart when I saw all the things happening. And it's just because I know one day I will have to have that conversation with him. I don't know how that's going to look, but we will, as a unit, my husband and I will continue to keep that line of communication open. We don't hide anything from our children. She watches the news. We talk about what's happening. I share with her information. And one of the things my grandmother taught me is when just be yourself. When you live right, people will treat you right.
Mm.
And that's what I try to remember is don't get caught up in the color because we're in a town where she doesn't even see color. She has friends of all different races and backgrounds. And I'm so happy about that because I wasn't raised like that. And it's not any fault to my family. It's just that the area that we are in, we are so blessed to be in a diverse area that she is accepting of everyone, which is one day I hope to teach my son that if he just presents his best self and treat everyone with respect and kindness and consideration, that hopefully people will treat him the same.
Wow. That's wonderful advice. And I hope by the time you have to have that conversation with your son, we've moved the needle along on this issue so that we can keep him a child a little bit longer. Because I know that that's a different experience for Black sons than it is for white sons, and it shouldn't be. So I like to end with a little inspiration. And I know that, with all your chicness and all your great advice, so, we're getting ready to go back into school. And, during COVID times, and some of us are going to be dealing with some more virtual learning and possibly, back indoors fully, within a few months. We'll see where it all lands. Um, Give us some tips on how to stay chic during some of what's coming. What are your thoughts on that for the moms?
Yes, absolutely. My favorite part. Okay. So,
Real situation.
yeah, first thing, okay. Anything that we do in life can be a chic situation. First of all, you have to stay organized. That is the key. And you have to find the time to be organized. So I would say set your alarm to at least an hour or an hour and a half earlier so that you can get your mind mentally right to take on the day. That's the most important tip I can give anybody. And I have to practice that in September when I start back teaching is just give yourself that extra morning time because I feel like in the mornings is when you prepare, you have that extra time to work on yourself. Also, a second tip could be is implement self-care. You can start doing that now because you have to be ready physically, mentally, spiritually to take on whatever's going to happen to us for this fall and upcoming school year, whether if it's for you and your career or with your kids. Self-care is the best chic tip that I can give. And that comes in many different forms and fashions. But the number one is practice organization, be on time. A third one that I will leave you all with is practice presentation. Even if we're doing our virtual meetings, if we're going to be virtual or in person, take pride in yourself. Get yourself together. I have a 5-minute makeup tip that's in my book. Yes, that everyone can learn from. That it doesn't take much. It just takes a little bit of effort that we have to implement every day in our lives in order to feel great and confident. So those three things, organization, self-care, and your I just drew a blank.
Presentation.
Yes,
Yeah,
presentation.
I was paying attention. I'm making notes.
Thank you. Yes, and I so appreciate speaking with you this morning.
Oh, I do too. And
I
that's
wish
really
everyone the
great
best.
advice. That's really great advice for everybody. And I'm really very grateful to you and all of the women that have joined us and all the women that are coming for being so open and sharing your life experiences in hopes of creating a bridge and, humanity and equality, which is what we're all striving for. So, and I encourage everyone to follow Tiffany on Instagram on Chic Situations. So it's under Chic Situations, your
Yes,
Instagram page.
yes, Chic
Okay.
Situations, and also on Facebook.
Okay. So we're going to put both of those pages here in the comments so that you all can connect to it. For those of you watching, if there's someone in your life that you wished had seen this broadcast today, please do not despair. It will live on our Facebook page, and you can absolutely access it and share it with the people in your life that should hear it. something else I want to share, which is rather exciting. Today, we're going to start launching a new effort, which is part of our ongoing work to eliminate racism in our community and to create allies and to create support on this journey of working to eliminate racism, because we really do believe that it will happen when all people stand shoulder to shoulder together, and that's how we will put an end to it. And so with that, on early September, and the date is escaping me now. I want to say it's September 7th or September 9th, something like that. But it's coming formally. We'll be posting it. We'll be launching the 21-day race challenge, and anybody can join it. You just will have to send us your email, and for 21 days straight, I'm sorry, for 21 business days, not the weekends, anyone who joins the challenge, and this could be something you do with a group of friends, it could be something you do individually, it could be something you do at your business, at a nonprofit organization, with your house of worship. We encourage all people to get involved, take the race challenge, and each day you will receive an email with some homework that will teach you information about how to be anti-racist, and give you something to watch, something to read, a little activity to do. We do believe that this is a journey that individuals have to go through, and we encourage you to continue yours. I know we've all, it's been great to see the support where people have come out to all the protests and the marches. It's been wonderful to see the social media posts that started, a few months ago. But again, this isn't just something that pops up when there's a tragedy that we connect to. This is really lifelong work that those of us who want to be allies need to do. And again, it's a personal journey that we need to go on to learn and to unlearn information that's been taught to us. So I encourage you, keep a watch out for the 21-day race challenge, and please share it with your friends, your family, your businesses, your nonprofit organizations that you're connected to or you're volunteering. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to learn more. Also, we want to remind you about the census. We're getting closer to the end of the census time. Just in the last few days and for the next few coming, census numerators are going to start coming to homes where the census was not completed. They are marked appropriately, so please be mindful that so that there is no scam of someone coming to your home to hurt you. They are marked with appropriate documentation. And they will remind you. You can do your census online. You can do it by mail. But we do encourage you to take the time to do it. The way that we get resources into our communities is by knowing who lives in them. So it's a very important opportunity. And we are about 85 days, I believe, from the election, which is a good reminder to get out and register to vote, and make sure you are educated on the issues that are out there, and make sure that you are seeking out candidates that support your value system and the values of the society that you want to see around you. So we encourage you to get involved in all that. This is our last YWTV for the week. We will be back next week with some wonderful shows, another great Share the Mic, more information about the 21-day race challenge. And we look forward to spending time with you. Tiffany, I'm so happy that we had this time together this morning. I really learned a lot. And I have to say, your calming presence is just lovely. And I feel very grounded just from having this time with you. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, Helen. It's such a pleasure. And I just wanted to show you my book because I will send you a copy.
Yes, please. Ooh, pretty. I like the pink.
Thank you. And it will be available on Amazon.
Wonderful. So that'll be available on Amazon. We'll also put the link for the book if it's up already. I'm not sure. Tiffany may have frozen, but we will include that information here in the comments for you. Thank you all, and be well. Have a great day, great weekend. Stay well. Follow us on all of our social media channels, and we'll see you soon. Bye.